Hi, this is Eric Martin with Board Game Geek. I'm here with David Liu and Jesse Lee, designer of The Flow of History, with David being from More Ideas. Yes, and hope you could give an overview of the game here.
Okay, sure.
We know Guns and Steel, very nice design before. You have Guns and Steel Renaissance, but now something new.
Yes.
Okay.
So as you can see here, this is also a civilization building game. You can see that we have a central market and we have your own nation in your country. And in this game, we will progress through the different ages. You can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different ages. And when the game ends, when you go to the final card, enter the market, and we will end the game and we'll score who wins and builds the greatest nation.
Okay. What's the judge of greatest nation? What are we trying to build up over time?
We try to gain new cards. They represent the different technologies or buildings or constructions in your civilization, and they have these production icons. At the end of the game, we'll count the production icons and count the points. And some wonder cards, maybe they'll give you a scoring effect and count the points and see who wins.
Okay.
So now I'll give a quick overview how the game works. So in this game, you do take one action per turn from a choice of 5. The first, we have a total of 5 actions: invest, complete, snipe, activate, and harvest. So the first action is called invest. You choose a card on the market and you set a price. So for example, if I want this astronomy card, I take my pawn and take my resource tokens. They are used like money or coins and put it on the card. So that's called an invest. And that means that I am investing in this card and maybe I'll complete it afterwards. So the next action is called a complete. If it's on your turn and you have a marker on the marketplace, then you can choose to complete the card. When you complete the card, first you take that marker, you add the token. Oh, no, not there. Here, this is down here. This is called the supply area. That's called the reserve. It's a separate place. Then we take it down and add them to your nation. Now, before it goes into your nation, first you check this investor bonus icon. This is a light bulb, which is called a science. So you check how many science icons you have in your nation. I have 1, 2 from Astro, so I get investor bonus of 2 wins back. So actually I got it for free. So it's
just investing time.
Yes, it's investing. So if you try to make some good synergies, you can try to invest your cards and you can get a nice discount. When you get a new card, you'll add it to your nation and stack him with the colors, the cards of the same color, and it will show only the bottom stripe, the production icons. If there are some effects that will give you icons, they'll get covered if you get a new card. So once it is added to your nation, some cards will have an effect that will be activated, and I'll talk about it later. I'll just add it back. The next action would be called the snipe. For example, if I invested in this card, then the other player, maybe the yellow player, would also want that card too. Then he can pay me 2 coins to snipe the card, and then these will go into the supply. I'll get my marker back, and he'll get his card. Now, when that happens, I'll also get a compensation. So it's like I'm selling the card to him, and I'm going to get a bonus.
You did the initial research.
Yes, I did it. So basically, you'll get half from the central supply. Half rounded down, but before that, I count how many trade icons I have in my nation. I have 1. So first I take 1, and then I take half. So sometimes in this game, you'll try to be selling the cards to other players. You get a lot of money back, so you can get a higher chance of getting the card that you really want.
It's a patent thief, and your patent claim.
Yes, something like that.
You have that here.
The fourth action is called activate. Some cards will have this activate effect. So since you're going to do 1 action per turn, if you choose to activate a card, then you can't do anything else. So if you activate a card and do its effect, and then your turn ends. Finally, the final action is called the harvest. What you do is you pass your turn and you take money from the center. So usually you would like to do that if someone completed an investment and they put a lot of money into the supply, then maybe you'll like to harvest it.
Okay.
So to take the harvest action, you just say you want to harvest, and you take half from the supply. Also half rounds it down. But if you have this harvest icon in your nation, then before you take half, you count how many harvest icons you have. For example, I have one harvest icon here in my nation, and I take one from outside. This is called the reserve area, add it to the supply, and then I get to take half.
Okay.
So if I have a lot of harvest icons in my nation, then when I take the harvest action, I'll add more money into the supply. Okay, this is a very interesting mechanic, because at the start of the game, everybody only has 4 resource tokens, but by doing the harvest action, more and more resources will come from outside the game, from the reserve into the supply, so it simulates inflation. So that's very cool.
Okay.
Okay. So these are the 5 basic actions. Remember, you can only do 1 action per turn. Okay. Next, I'll talk about the effects. We'll just start it over. Okay. So we have every card will have effect. So we will start from the instant effect. Now the cards with the instant effect will be activated when you gain a card, whether you complete it by yourself or you snipe a card from an opponent. Okay. So if, for example, this astronomy card, when it enters his nation, then it will be activated right now. So he'll gain the top card and add it to his nation. Okay. Just like that. Okay. Next is called the attack effect. In this game, you can also make attacks, but usually they'll only happen when you gain a red attack card. Okay. So when you gain a red attack card, they'll have this attack effect. Well, some will have the attack effect, some will be other permanent or other effects. So if it got an attack effect, then when you take it from the center, add it to a nation, then you can make an attack. Okay. To attack players in this game, you have to count how many of these axe military icons you have in your nation. So this is for attack. You count how many you have, and then the defenders get to count their military icons. However, when you make an attack, you only get to count this cross attack icons, but defenders get to count the this one. This is called the defense icon. So they get to count both defense and attack values, but the attacker only counts the attacking icon. So it's slightly easier to defend in this game. Okay. So next, it's called the permanent effect. You can see that these cards will give you a permanent effect. Usually they'll just give you extra icons. So if you gain a new card and cover it, then it's gone. And if somehow someone removes this card, then it'll be yours again. However, the instant effect and the attack effects can only be used once per game. So even if it's revealed again, then you can't activate it. Okay. Finally, the next turn action, the fifth effect type. We talked about it before. Some cards will have this this
special action you can do for your entire turn.
Yes. Special action used for an entire turn. And finally, we have the scoring effects. Usually, you'll find the scoring effect on wonder cards, but some other cards will also have this scoring effect. So it's basically, will just give you bonus points at the end of the game. Okay. Now, I've said before that when the final card comes into play, then the game will end. So when the game ends, we'll count the points. To count the points in this game, first you count how many culture icons you have. Where you have a culture icon, this is here. Okay. This is a culture icon. Each culture icon is worth 1 point, and all the other icons are worth half points rounded down. So if you have a total of like 23 icons, then you get 11 points. Okay. Finally, you count these the scoring effects. For example, this gives you an extra culture icon for each harvest icon you have, so you can work up some bonuses or some combos. To build
direction during the game.
So usually this game will last about 1 hour. In a sense, it mostly depends on how many cards you buy. So it's basically the same length for 3 to 5 players.
Okay. All right. Thanks for the overview.
Yes.
The flow of history.